YouTube, what's up? It's your boy BR the Artist. So we got another banger for y'all today. We are doing a mid bald fade, the classic haircut, especially for a grown adult. You know what I'm saying? So you see, we have to comb the hair out. You have to blow dry it because I did wash it earlier. I didn't put that on camera, but you see how fluffy it became. I'm talking about this hair is like sheep's wool, man. I had to start off with a number 2 wall guard. It's a premium guard, by the way. The things, they just click on the barberless clippers very well, and they stay stuck on it as well. All right, now we're doing against the grain, because like I said, we're doing a fade. So if I know we're doing a fade, I just go ahead and start tapering the sides and the fade in the areas where I am about to fade, just to go ahead and debulk. Now we're gonna run through that top just a little bit more. So you can already see the waves a little bit. My man's hair, he has a different type of grade of hair, man. I don't even know what to call this. Like, you know, a lot of people be having that 4C hair. A lot of people be having, you know, curly hair or whatever. This is just a different type of hair, man. And this fade was pretty difficult. So you're gonna see as we go through the process. But I already know, like, even in his corners, you know, the hair is a lot thicker. So I had to make sure I tapered his corners a little bit more. And then he also has ridges in his head, because when you become an adult, and as you age like fine wine, your hair change, your skin change, the hair texture change, everything changes, man. But we are tapering the beard down. I'm using a 0 guard, and I'm going against the grain. He wants like a nice 5 o'clock shadow, and we're gonna make sure we even everything up. Now, a lot of times, the hair on the jaws, it may differ from the hair in the goatee area and on the mustache area, because that hair may grow just a little thicker, but sometimes it may cut off a little softer as well. So you have to make sure you comb, and you have to make sure you using your eye test, because you are your best judge, and you don't want to come half stepping. So a lot of times as an artist, when I look at someone's head, when I look at someone's face, off rip, I can tell how their hair is going to cut off. That's how long I've been cutting hair. When you put over 10,000 hours in this, it'll become easy, I guarantee you. But if you're uncertain, you want to just start off big and then go small. So start off with a bigger guard and then use a smaller guard. All right, so now we're going to start our first guideline. Now I'm starting just a little above those ridge lines in the back of his head. I call that extra meat. You know what I'm saying? And that comes with you know, age. It comes with, you know, eating a little bit more. So as you gain weight, you can get those, or as you lose weight, you can lose those. All right, now we did spray it with a Tap and Go Hairline Spritz by Top Tip Hair Club. That is the brand. Make sure y'all go cop some of that. Now we're gonna start our first initial guideline. Now lately I have been downward fading, but this is an older video, so I am fading up. And when you fade up, I pretty much call it meeting in the middle, meeting halfway, like a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? You put your bread on, you know, you lay your bread out, then you put all your little toppings in the middle, you know, and just smush it together. Pretty much what downward fading is. Well, I mean, that's what fading up is. I'm sorry, y'all. But I'm screen scrubbing through, and I'm just blending out that bottom blend line. As you can see, we're taking out that line little bit by little bit. Now we can go ahead, we're taking a 1.5, and we're just gonna go ahead and soften up that next guideline. Now you see I'm going up a little high, but I did have my guard open all the way. But when I'm softening up the line, I have my lever closed all the way. As I'm going through my fades, I'm thinking in my head, okay, how can I make this fade process easier? Because you don't want to put too much hand or wrist work. You don't want to tire yourself out. So if you have a guard and you know you have to do a specific thing with it, just go ahead and knock that out as you have that guard on your clipper, because you don't want to keep going back and forth, twisting and turning. Or even if you have, you know, guards on you, like the magnetic guards, and people be having the things on their on their smocks or whatever. Cool, but at the end of the day, you don't want to keep switching guards out, because it can get tired and it can get old. Now I'm using my Andes Masters. The Andes Masters, man, they have a powerful motor. So of course, with his type of hair, his hair sticks to his head, and like I said, he has certain indentures and ridges in his head. So the masters, man, they're gonna cut, they're gonna snip, and they're gonna debulk the hair, and they're gonna fade the hair perfectly, just like how I need to, especially with that taper blade that they have on there. And you know I gotta do that gold. Love that gold, man. You wanna give me a gift? Give me some gold clippers. Just like Trinidad James, gold all in my chain. Yes, sir. All right. So now I'm just softening up that line. You see the fade is talking to me. It's coming alive. And you see how I'm holding my clippers. I'm doing a different type of technique when it comes to my wrist work, just to preserve my wrist a little bit more and just to hold it a little flatter. Now, from time to time, especially because my client is tall, I would, you know, adjust how I'm holding my clippers, but I am trying to hold it, you know, to where my wrist is a little more sideways, because I do want to preserve the life of my wrist. And make sure you do go get your hands insured, ladies and gentlemen. That is my next goal for next year, going into 2024. You gotta get insurance on these hands, because you do bless a lot. I do bless a lot of people, and as a barber, I'm pretty sure you probably bless a lot of people, or even as a stylist, esthetician, whoever's watching this video. All right, now we're just fading the back out. Now we're going side to side. I'm giving y'all all angles, because, you know, a lot of times, man, when you have a grown person, and not that his head size is enormous, but, you know, everybody comes in different shapes and sizes. So when you have a head that's a little bit bigger than most, because when you're cutting a grown man's head, it's different from cutting a little kid's head. Little kid's head, you can knock it out in 2.5 seconds. But when you're cutting a grown man's head, and especially depending on the hair texture, you got to make sure you got to break it down in sections so you're not tiring yourself out. All right, now this is that razor tooth comb. I put a fresh razor blade on it. It's Durco blades, by the way. And you see, like I said, man, I couldn't get an up close angle as too much, but his hair texture is different, man. So I have to make sure I'm razoring down, because, boy, that fade process, it can get you can tire yourself out. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm using I call this my Green Goblins. Shout out to B. Clark Customs. He spray painted these, customized them, and I got a custom blade. Well, it's a chameleon blade by Babyless, but my man Clipper Grinder, of course, he sharpened and modified them. That's why you see them things snipping like that. Thanks to my Tap and Go Hairline Spritz, I don't have the skin looking all chalky or anything. It's just snipping. It's looking perfect. Now, with his type of forehead, it is pretty wide, so I had to do from side to side, and I also had to go up just a little bit in the middle, just to give it that effect of that it looks straight across, especially when you're doing a fade. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that thing, you don't want your hairlines hanging too much off the corners. I tried to keep as much new growth as possible on his edge, on his vertical bar. However, like I said, his forehead is pretty wide, and we consulted, so he said, you know, whatever you gotta do to make it straight, let's make it straight, man. That's exactly what I did. Now you see how I'm going up in the corners. Now right here, I did keep the new growth as much as possible. However, I did have to take it up just a little bit. You'll see that towards the end of the video. But I always start low, and then if I have to adjust, just like I'm doing right now, sometimes you gotta finagle these hairlines. When you gotta adjust, you gotta adjust. Now let's go ahead and wipe his forehead with some of that shave gel. I'm using Uncle Jimmy's shave gel, by the way. You know, usually I can just use some shave cream and, you know, the Tap and Go Hairline Spritz and just razor it out. However, his hair, it goes in different directions on his forehead, so that's why I went ahead and just put some shave gel on there, just so I'm not nicking him. And also, his skin, it did get pretty dry, and the hair got pretty dry from me washing it. So don't be lazy, ladies and gentlemen. If you have to, use that razor gel. It's okay, because what the razor gel does after a few strokes, you know, it dries up, and it dries the skin pretty well too. Now right here, I just use some water. You gotta get the unibrows. Make sure you consult with your people. If they want to keep their unibrows, let them keep their unibrows. But if they want to cut it, hey man, get in the middle of that thing and snip that off, because it makes your haircuts turn out a lot better. Unless you like Anthony Davis and you're lining up that unibrow. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him though. But all right, I'm just cleaning up just a little bit more, like I said, because eventually after the razor gel dries on your skin, it makes the skin a lot drier, and it also gives that clean effect. Now we're laying his hair down with some Top Tier Hair Club foam wrap. Okay, now I'm gonna hit him with the do-rag, lay it down. I did brush his hair down as well, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, as those waves or that hair is just laying down and it's baking under the do-rag, we have to make sure we line out this beard. And I'm showing this part because you have to understand, you need certain trimmers for certain things. You don't want your sharpest trimmers going under the neck area. Unless you just really dislike the client and you're trying to be ugly, then yeah, you know, you can use your sharp trimmers and just press on his neck. But the neck area is a very, very sensitive spot. So in order to give your client a good experience, go ahead and just, you know, use some soft trimmers. Usually I don't zero gap my trimmers when it comes to the neck area. I just use some trimmers that's coming straight out the box, especially for barbers, because they do snip right out the box. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you keep the blades oiled up so it's not pulling the hair. All right, moving along, we are going to line up the beard. Now, like I said, with his skin type, I did have to use some shave gel, and his face was pretty dry because I did put a hot towel on his face, and I did wash his face at the shampoo bowl. So after sitting in the chair for about 30 minutes, yeah, his skin can be pretty dry. And then especially on the mustache area, to avoid nicking someone, especially like when you have a grown man in your chair and you have that salt and pepper hair, it's either going to be extra soft or it's going to be very, very hard. So you don't want to take your chance to go ahead and put some shave gel on the top of that lip, let it sit for a little bit and let it moisturize on the skin, let it soothe it, and then go ahead and just snip all the extra hair off. And you see how I'm pulling his face because he does have a chubbier face. So you want to pull the face just to make sure you're not nicking anybody either, because when you have a lot of extra fat or a lot of extra skin on your client's face, that can be prone to happen a lot more versus someone with a skinnier face. However, even with someone with slim jaws, you have to make sure they're putting the air bubble out, because you can nick them as well, because sometimes people's jaws curve in and the razor is straight, it's flat. All right, this is one of my little tricks right here, man. You know, when you have the hair sticking out through the do-rag, just go ahead and take some trimmers and just go across, and it's gonna give you that effect right there. You see the hair is laid down. I did put the hair dryer on there for a little while. You probably just need consistent heat for about 2 to 3 minutes. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to make him uncomfortable. See, my client, you already see he's already pretty happy, you know what I'm saying, because he already sees the haircut in the mirror. He's like, oh yeah, boy, this is a transformation right here, which it is. You know what I'm saying? He watched this thing just come to life. That's the beautiful thing about barbering, man, when your client can sit in the chair and watch themselves come to life, you know. And when you know what you're doing, it gets done right. I guarantee you. Now, you know, usually I don't use the pencil, but you know, we're keeping this thing natural, so I did use the white pencil just to make sure his hairline is contouring to his head, and to make sure we have that perfect box, because his forehead is, like I said earlier in the video, it's pretty wide. So in order for it to make sense to me, and you know, sometimes you got to tilt the head down like I did right there. You want to make sure everything is lined up. Okay, now right there you see on the left side, you know, that point looks like it's hanging, but it's not. It's just the angle, ladies and gentlemen. When you see the end result, which you need to stick around for, you will see what I'm talking about, because like I said, his forehead is just a little wide. So when you're cleaning up and polishing, make sure you take that comb and make sure you take the small teeth of the comb down, tap, comb down, tap. You want all those little hairs. Put a little razor on it a little bit just to touch it up. That's what I'm talking about right there. And we're going to go ahead and use our green goblins just to go across the hairs, because sometimes, you know, the do-rag is going to lay it down all the way, because you know the do-rag, if you leave it on overnight, of course it's going to lay it down. But you know, I'm doing this in 2 to 5 minutes, man. 2 to 5 minutes. All right, this is the mirror check. Like I said, you see the left side, that point is crispy. He likes it. Matter of fact, he loves it, ladies and gentlemen. BR has killed it again. All right, I do not play, I do not miss. Got to hit him with the oil sheen real quick, so when he walks out into that sun, you already know that fade gonna be shining. But y'all, I'm just showing y'all the end result. This is the final cuts. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're cleaning your client's neck up. And then even with those, you know, like I said, when you got the extra meat in the back, make sure you get all the extra hair. You don't want them going home and being like, dang, man, he forgot all this. You folks paid too much money. They paid top dollar for you not to be getting all the extra stuff, okay? And take your time with it too, man, you know. But I appreciate y'all so much, man. This is just the alcohol wipe. And then, like I said, when you're washing your client's face, make sure you re-moisturize it as well. So I'm gonna hit them with some rose water on the next scene. You gotta make sure you're getting all the alcohol. I need to get one of those spray guns. I heard the spray guns are pretty good. Let me know in the comments if y'all think I should get one. And I showed y'all this whole scene just to show you to take your time when it comes to wiping the alcohol off so you don't get any bumps, okay? But I appreciate y'all, man. Once again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. VR the Artist is out. Peace. Yo, check it out. Yo, it's your boy Von Keith.
Stay in hustle mode, got some brand new pose, hit them with a pose, check what I just drove, my car don't touch the road.